What is up, Flick fans? Welcome back to my channel. The Oscar nominations were held this last Monday. And oh my gosh, we have a lot to talk about. Some snubs, some surprises. We may go through the categories and just talk about our feelings. And I say we because I'm joined, well, by two individuals I've been teasing for quite a while. But I don't really want to start out with that intro. I'm not a big fan. I like your all's intro better. Can you guys do the intro for me this time?
Oh, I think it goes a little something like, good evening, this is the Oscar expert here with Brother Bro. And we are joined by a legendary YouTuber, Oscar fan, movie fan, Netflix fanatichisto, Austin Burke.
I mean, I've dreamed of that moment my entire life. It feels good, y'all. I've got the Oscar expert Brother Bro here, man. And I know you guys are talking Oscars like crazy. So just for you to take the time to join me on my channel today is awesome.
This background makes me want to do like a really dumb joke where I go like, where am I? Like, what is this? Why am I in a box?
Don't like my my blue and purple color scheme here. And wait, look, I can switch back and forth.
Like solely from Monsters Inc.
Isn't this fancy? You guys like my fancy stuff happening here?
Yeah, it's really fancy. Yeah, I can't believe you're editing this quickly as we speak.
Yeah, look at that. Live editing. 2021. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Guys, I really am happy to have you, though. And I know Monday was a big day for you, and I'm sure everybody's seen your reaction by now. But just quick thoughts before we get into this. What are your feelings 2 days after the nominations were announced?
I'm pretty happy with the lineup. You know, I would have liked to see, if we got 10, then we could have maybe squeezed One Night in Miami, Ma Rainey in there. And then it would have been just like, no one would have been complaining about anything because, I'm really glad that Sound of Metal, The Father, and Judas all not only got in, but they got like big packages of nominations. Like almost every movie got 6 nominations. We had some indie domination, which I love to see. And yeah, I think that, they pulled some surprises, but I don't think there was any really huge snubs in the acting categories, like at least that weren't unexpected, really. Pretty happy with the nominations. I've been upset at some of the Golden Globes, like I was upset, but I'm like pretty cool with this. I was like, yeah, I like the nominations. Yeah, it's a great lineup for Best Picture, and I could not have seen it going better in that category. I know that I know Ma Rainey was snubbed. I know One Night in Miami was snubbed. Personally, they weren't my favorites in that category. I liked Ma Rainey a little more, and I would have been happy if we got like 9 or 10 nominees and they were there. Like that would have been great. But I'm more happy that my favorites got in, and I watched Sound of Metal like the night before the Oscar nominations because I was like, I know this is gonna happen. I just know it. And the movie was better. It was even better the second time around.
Yeah.
Just some of those scenes at the end too, like the scene when she's singing at the piano is really, really beautiful. So I'm very happy that Sound of Metal got in. That's just a movie you would not expect to get in any other year. We have a lot of those. But yeah, they were I was very happy with them. And LaKeith, like my biggest freak out was a good thing too. LaKeith Stanfield. The freakouts were generally good. Sometimes they're because I'm upset, Yeah. It was good, but it was category fraud, but it was still good to have him there. I mean, none of my favorite movies were snubbed. Other years, like Carol was one of my favorites. If Beale Street Could Talk, and I had to deal with being like, oh, like I got snubbed. Yeah. And they were like my favorites. Like they would have been the top movie for me, and they got snubbed.
Like you, I thought The Father was going to be that movie for me because The Father is my number one out of all of these. And that was the one that I thought would get snubbed. I had no clue Ma Rainey and it's funny because I put my video out there and I didn't even realize at the time One Night in Miami was snubbed. No clue. I'm sitting there like, oh my God, Ma Rainey. And then I'm still freaking out over another round getting the director nominee. And then I sit back and I think about it, I'm like, oh my God, there's no One Night in Miami. Like, where did it go?
I don't know if you caught like that moment for us, but he pointed, he was like, he realized it. And then I was like, wait, why? What are you doing? Like, what's happening? And they skipped and I was like, yeah. You realized it. And I had to think, I was like, what? And it was, The moments like that is like I'm exploding.
That's the moment. I think that's the moment for everyone. And I had to continue to remind myself, okay, it's in alphabetical order, because I feel like I forget that every single year.
It's hard to like figure out, what's like supposed to be A, what's supposed to be B. But a lot of people in my comments are like, they keep forgetting like the alphabetical order. But I don't have like a spreadsheet that I'm like cross-examining. Sometimes this is the first year that we even like remembered it was alphabetical, so I admit I'm like bad at it, but other years we would be like waiting for something to happen and we'd be like, oh, it's coming, but it's like A. It's the first letter in the alphabet. We did it a lot.
This year it was weird because in the director category Chloe Zhao was 4 and I was like, there's nothing after ZH. Like there's nothing like, but I realized it was in order. It was like the movie name. Yeah. And so I was just dumb, but I tried to look out for it this year.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of hoping because Vinterberg got the director nom. I'm sitting there talking, okay. And then in the back of my mind, there's no way another round gets an Oscar nom for Best Picture, but I'm like, he got the director nomination. Are we going to get Cold War again? Or is it going to be, and then
you gotta wonder that
they skip A. But I'm still like, does he still have a shot? And then I'm like, no, A is the first letter in the alphabet. What am I thinking? Like, of course it's not going to get there. So yeah, but in the moment, it's tough to remember what goes after what. You would think because it's the alphabet, it should be simple. But in the moment, we were all kind of freaking out. So essentially, I think Best Picture was kind of the talk of and usually it's not. Usually it's a snub here. And obviously we have a few more that we'll talk about. But was that the case for you guys? Was Best Picture the biggest snub, surprises, that kind of deal? Or is there another category that trumps that?
Yeah, I mean, it was weird because things went mostly as expected. But then Best Picture had 2 major snubs. Like, I think Ma Rainey and One Night in Miami, they both got SAG, PGA, Critics' Choice. They made the AFI top 10. Both of them together. Not nobody, but like they were, 6, 7, 8 for people. Like people didn't think they were getting snubbed at all. And so that category did throw the biggest loop. And it was surprising because other categories weren't like that wacky. They weren't that wacky.
I also think there were maybe 1 or 2 more good surprises as opposed to bad, because like you said, normally there are the Adam Sandlers of the world and I'm sitting there freaking out and I'm so bummed out at the end of the day. And we had Tenet for, score, and we had a few of those minor, LaKeith probably being the biggest in the actor category for me was a good one, even though again, I think we were both sitting there going, we had no clue that he was, considered a supporting actor. Even he put on Instagram,
he wasn't considered a supporting actor. No. Like it literally wasn't. They decided. We just talked with Eric about it, and Eric was like, it's just something that voters themselves, like enough voters just decided they're going to vote for him in supporting. And that could be because they're not aware of his campaign because he hasn't been nominated enough places for them to go, oh, that's a lead actor. Like, but nonetheless, he was, Eric has been following this as like crazily as us, but just for, a span of like many more years. And he's he's like, this barely ever happens. And this one, like when you look at the other examples, that like makes it maybe even less sense because sometimes it's because of like a Globe switch. Like Globes will, do one thing with them and then the Academy will do the other. But in this case, like, I don't even know where that idea came from and how it got into so many people's brains.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe they just saw like, oh, Kaluuya's supporting. LaKeith Stanfield is just as big as him. I really don't know. Or like, how do they not check? But it's completely baffling, but it's weird.
I do want to mention, though, I think the most surprising thing for me was the way that we started off the ceremony immediately with actress in a supporting role, which I thought would be the most hectic category. But I believe you guys did, along with myself, at least go 4 for 5. I went 5 for 5. But this being the category I thought would be the most shocking ended up being maybe like the most simple one at the end of the day, because it's like, oh,
well, all right. I kind of knew it was going to be 5 of the 6, and there wouldn't be anybody else. Awesome. Like, so it's chaotic, but it's because it's hard to know who of the 6 they're going to snub. Not because like But like I knew I was gonna get 4 out of 5, and I expected that. If I got 5 out of 5, I'd be like boasting about it, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I do think that this is the least.
I only expected to get 4 out of 5 in there, because other than that, it was unambiguous. It was these 4 were so, these 5 were so, or 6 were like just scrunched in, like locked up, and they pushed everybody else out.
But it turns out Jodie Foster, I mean, I guess she made the least sense. She only got a Golden Globe nomination, but the win. And I think it was the neatest that it could have been. I think that snubbing Seyfried would have been very not neat. And so, a lot of the acting.
I guess so. You can't really make it. I don't know.
I mean,
it's
Jodie
not
Foster,
neat when the Golden Globe winner doesn't get nominated.
Yeah, but I feel like people don't care that's the Golden Globes messy now. That's their mess. But I think Jodie Foster, I don't think people cared as much.
Well, they apparently didn't care about the Mauritanian. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that could have easily, in my mind, gotten a nomination in screenplay, or even, not easily, but it had a shot at lead actor as well. And it did nothing. It did absolutely nothing.
Delroy Lindo was also like, he's been disappointingly not getting nominated ever since the Globes. And unfortunately, it was kind of expected at that point when he misses just like everything except for Critics' Choice. But it still sucks because sometimes the Oscars do make that redemption and they didn't do it. And it's very weird that they're not able to, I don't know, like, how could you see the performance?
I don't even know what to make of those except to think I'm just gonna, like, how we just compare everything. So it's like, oh, he's like Robert De Niro in The Irishman. Like, what, that comparison for me is like, you just get nominated for no reason because fuck you, like, and it doesn't make any sense. You just drop off the map, and then the Critics' Choice are the only ones to nominate you. It's like a new category. I don't know what to call it, but Critics' Choice gives you a bone, and everybody else just snubs you for no reason. Like that's the category he fell into. I would not have seen it coming because people were like saying he's going to win, or at least he's a lock.
It happened with Ellen Burstyn too, in Pieces of
Ellen Burstyn, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I get that the category is crowded, but still, for her not to be nominated anywhere, she'd have been in my top 5 probably.
And I didn't even really react to it because at that point, I think both of us, we'd all dropped expectations, right? So Burstyn, I'm just like, I know she's not going to get it. Lindo, and I was almost there with The Father for Best Picture until that. For me, I don't know about for you guys. For me, it was at one point in my video when it gets I think it was the editing nomination. I said, it's got a shot, right? When was it for you that you kind of thought The Father maybe
editing and production design?
I don't know which one was first, but whichever one was first.
Yes.
Well, when it got editing, I still didn't think it necessarily would get in, but when it got production design, I was like, I didn't even think about it that much though. I was more focused on Sound of Metal, Judas.
No, we thought that Mank,
because I was like, okay, Ma Rainey's still like.
We thought those could be snubbed.
I was like, okay, One Night Miami's fine. So if it's 8, I still expect them to snub The Father because I was like, Judas and Sound of Metal get in at this point. I was focused on those.
Me too.
So when The Father got in, I was actually more surprised because I didn't think it was going to take out something like One Night in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I didn't think Ma Rainey was going to miss either, but I did expect it a little bit after the screenplay. I knew something was going to get snubbed and it was going to be big. And I actually thought it might be Mank because Mank got snubbed for screenplay. And so I was like, Mank might be gone. Ma Rainey might be gone, but that's all I saw coming.
I'm actually like almost on the other side. Like One Night in Miami was the one for me that there's no way it could miss a Best Picture. But if it did, out of all of those, I'm like, okay, Ma Rainey. I didn't even think there was a shot. Like I'm sure, that, and even screenplay, I'm just like, okay.
I didn't think there was a shot. I didn't think it had a shot.
Not with lead actor win and an actress now.
Yeah, that's like. Yeah, we talked about it the night before because Clayton Davis from Variety is predicting that it's not going to get nominated, and I was like, wow, no, it's getting lead actor and lead actress. Like, there's no question why that never happens. If you have lead actor, your movie doesn't even have to be amazing. It just has to like.
Apparently, that has happened 20 times, but it hasn't happened recently. It hasn't happened since the expanded lineup. Like The Theory of Everything probably wouldn't have gotten nominated for Best Picture if it weren't expanded lineup and would have had that.
Or like Walk the Line.
But again,
Yeah.
Walk the Line would have been nominated with 10 nominees.
Exactly. So with the expanded lineup, it's
Yeah.
not something that's going to happen very much.
So I know it's early. I know it's. Oh, by the way, before I get into this last,
It's never
question,
too early. It's literally never too.
We don't abide by that rule at all.
No, we have our 2022 Oscar predictions. Like I have a list. Like I need to go through it, but like do not underestimate.
I can't stand when people are like, "This is too early."
Oh, I got that last year. I did way too early Oscar predictions, and everybody's like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like, "Guys,
Like
we just for fun."
Okay,
It's a thing now.
Also-
Like we do it. I see other people doing it now. Like every month on the first day of the month.
even if you say things that are really obvious, people are still like too early. One time, I remember like way back, I was like, it was like May, and I was like, Gravity's gonna win like visual effects and cinematography, guys.
Yeah.
On some like internet thing, and people were like, "It's too early," and I was like, "How is
Back
it
to
too
the
early to
days where-
say that that's winning?"
Your all
those
your
awards?
energy, like all your stupid energy, was just channeled into like an internet forum, or
Yeah.
like a gold derby
I
forum.
don't know what it was. Maybe it was. I think it was YouTube or something. I commented on
Probably
the trailer or
Gold
something
Derby
like that. Or like, I mean, some things are never too early. We all knew Soul was winning for a year.
Yeah.
Also, when Black Panther came out, we were like free, and I don't have total credibility here because we also predicted Avengers Endgame, which we talked about in our other conversation.
Lightly predicted.
But
man.
lightly predicted. But we predicted Black Panther like right after it came out, and we made a video on it. And then he goes and posts in a Gold Derby forum like Black Panther's getting nominated for Best Picture, and then
yeah,
and
then everyone was
Gold
like,
Derby
no.
like.
No.
Gold Derby, who's just desperate and always very hungry for just like articles. They're like, this forum user thinks that Black Panther, and it was him. It was like his post. And he got all these people going. Like, and if you polled them, if you surveyed them, I think 80 to 90% would have said it's probably 80%.
I don't know about that many.
It was most people were saying like, no, you're like, what the hell? This is stupid, or it's not even worth predicting. And it's no. You can always guess like at least one or two, usually two or three. Pretty good.
Well,
Yeah,
I
this
have a
year
question. I have a question that I haven't really heard your fleshed out thoughts on. What do you think about Glenn Close? And I know you mentioned it a little bit in your stream, but Glenn Close getting the Razzie and the Oscar nom. And I know the Razzies are a joke, but I want to know, what do you guys think about
They're usually a good joke though. Like they're a joke that I like to be in on, but I'm not in on that one. I get that it's funny because if you think about Hillbilly Elegy as being like a trash movie, and you think that, Glenn Close got dressed up as this grandma and was like, wah, 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 like running around, like chasing like a kid, like spanking people is that's like a funny thing to be like, yeah, fuck it. That's the worst performance of the year. It's Glenn Close, like in this grandma makeup doing like, her like old lady impression. And like Amy Adams, like just freaking out the whole movie and like having like seizures and panic attacks. So it's funny to think of it that way. But since I like Hillbilly Elegy and I think they both did a really good job, I don't support them getting worst actor of the year. I think they're both really good performances.
Well, as we know, the Stanley Kubrick was nominated for a Razzie for The Shining along with Shelley Duvall.
And those are good.
Like, I mean, I'm not saying that. Well, I'm not saying Hillbilly Elegy is gonna.
It's funny that
like
can happen, though. It's funny the fact that can even happen.
But they do it.
It's a very particular movie or performance that can pull it off.
And did Jennifer Lawrence? Did Mother get nominated for Razzies?
I think so.
It was at least.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Trash. That's an amazing. I love that movie. They're such trash. So sometimes the Razzies, I just don't respect them at all. I think it's like funny that
Jennifer Lawrence got nominated. You know what? Since Jennifer Lawrence got nominated for Mother, I think it's easy to say like it's clearly not because they're like giving bad performances. It's just because they find it amusing.
They're big
to nominate. Like if you if you have a target and you're a part of that target and you're like really big, then they want to nominate you. It's just
I don't even know who they are though.
Halle Berry won a Razzie the same year that she won an Oscar though,
but not for the same movie.
Nope, not for the same movie.
And Sandra Bullock did the same thing.
Oh, what movie did she win for the Razzie?
All About Steve, I think.
I don't even know. That's funny.
Something like that.
So the Razzies just like this is kind of their thing, I guess. I don't know.
What was your happiest moment, whether it be a surprise or not? And then what was the one that made you the most frustrated at the end of the day? I think that's the ultimate question.
Like by the time we got Picture, I already knew it was getting nominated. Judas and Sound of Metal getting those like, Sound of Metal got editing. Judas got screenplay. They both got screenplay. That was the moment when it was like, oh my God, they're both getting nominated. Probably the happiest part.
I mean, I love that Paul Raci got in. Like I love when they nominate unknown performances. I mean, I love that Yoon Ye-jung got in too, but she was very expected. Like Paul Raci was like
it was to the point where you had to cross your fingers because you weren't 100% sure.
Jared Leto was ready. He was ready to take that away from somebody.
I mean, I love that. And like watching interviews with him, like he's just been acting for a long time. It's like the role of his dreams, and late in his life, he gets like a nomination for this amazing performance. Yeah. I mean, stuff like that I love.
And then what is it? Worst moment? Like most dreadful moment. Oh, when Boy State wasn't nominated.
Oh yeah,
for me.
Oh yes,
love Boy State. Easily the worst. And I'm glad Time was nominated because I love Time. Amazing movie too. And I was worried. I'm always nervous in the documentary category.
Yeah,
Tenet and Score was sucked too, but I was expecting it.
Tenet and Score sucked, but honestly, with the lack of screeners and just the push in general from that movie, even though I got sent the sound or the score and a couple of pieces from the technical side of things, I still wasn't really expecting Tenet to get, and then it gets production design. I'm just like, oh
yeah,
okay,
that was kind of interesting.
It's a little unexpected. And then in terms of my happy moments, it's essentially the ones that we talked about. The father for Best Picture, Paul Raci for his nomination, the LaKeith nomination, which was amazing. And then for me, it's probably Vinterberg for Best Director. I love Another Round. It's tied for my #1 movie of last year. So to see that get that amount of love is just fantastic. But guys, I think I've held you long enough, man. I can't thank you enough for coming on and sharing your thoughts with me and letting the people know some Oscar knowledge, because you guys have that, man. You guys are very, in terms of what you do, you're very knowledgeable. So I appreciate your insight. And before you go, please tell everybody where they can find you online.
They can find us on the YouTube channel, The Oscar Expert. It's spelled the way that you would think it is. No big words. And on Twitter, I'm an expert_Oscar, and he's at with Brother Bro.
Oh yeah, I forgot my Twitter handle.
Gotcha.
But yeah, thanks for having us on, Austin. We appreciate it. We are excited to get to know your audience a little more. Hope we can do more collaborations. We'll probably have another video that we this is our second meeting. It's our second.
Yes.
This is not our introduction. And this video we filmed, so this one's quite easy just to get out there, but that one we're still working on. So you'll see more collaborations. There will be a little bit on our channel as well. So you'll be forced to subscribe right now in order to get that update. If you are obsessed with Austin Burke, now you have to be in tune with what we do. That is an obligation now. You don't have a choice.
You're stuck with us. It's not the last time you're going to see these three strange individuals meeting up and talking the Oscars, and probably more things in the future. Again, guys, thank you so much. For everybody watching this video, let me know down below, what are your snubs, your surprises, the craziest moments that happened with the nominations, but also, what are you most excited about? And I know it's a little bit early. Well, we talked about this. It's not early. Leave some of your predictions down below. If you enjoyed this video, you want to drop your thumbs up, that would be awesome. All right, guys, come back, subscribe to their channel. More things in the future between all three of us, and we'll see you soon.
The three horses.
The three, yeah, ride that horse.
Flick fan horse. Flick fan nation horse.